We all know someone who tends to keep to themselves. This individual doesn't make much of an effort to be recognized and doesn't say very much. Perhaps they are a member of your family or your circle of friends. On the other hand, it's possible that you simply recognize them from around the neighborhood. Who knows? Maybe it's you. But in spite of the fact that most people believe that being outgoing and loud is the greatest way to make friends and achieve success, and that being more reserved is sometimes considered as a sign of social incompetence, there is a lot more to reserved people than you might think there is. Let's have a look at some fascinating psychological facts about the quiet types so that you may better understand these people and maybe even learn a thing or two about yourself in the process. First and foremost, they don't always have to be timid. It's a natural assumption to make that a quiet person is also timid, and although this is correct a lot of the time, it is not always the case. It's a given that folks who prefer to keep to themselves don't like to be the center of attention. They could even go out of their way to avoid being the focus of attention because of how important it is to them. However, this does not imply that they are timid. They are capable of being pleasant, doing well in social situations, and taking pleasure in conversation with those they feel at ease with, despite the fact that they prefer to speak less and listen more. It's possible that quiet people have a lot going on in their heads, but they don't always feel comfortable discussing their thoughts or feelings with other people. Number 2. They have an exceptionally loyal attitude. People who like to keep to themselves do not enjoy acting superficially for the sole purpose of expanding their circle of friends. Because they place a higher value on quality than quantity, it may take some time and effort to become close to them. They have very few genuine friends with whom they can fully connect with as a result of the difficulty with which they must win their confidence. As a result, the development of a close relationship is cause for celebration. In point of fact, faithfulness is one of their fundamental principles. They are extremely adept at concealing information and will never betray your trust in any way. The third point is that they do not necessarily feel angry or depressed. People who don't make a lot of noise are sometimes misunderstood and assumed to be angry or melancholy by those around them. Although this may be the case for some people, it's not always the case for people who prefer to keep a low profile. Because they are more introverted and find that social interactions exhaust them, it's possible that they only need to get away from other people for a time so that they may refuel their energy reserves by being alone themselves. They find it quite relaxing to be by oneself for extended periods of time so that they can think about their lives and gain wisdom from their experiences without having to justify or explain their choices to others. Number 4. They are inquisitive, self-reliant, and extremely self-motivated. People that are more reserved tend to be more curious, which often drives them to try out and learn about new activities. They are more self-reliant and motivated by their own initiative. Therefore, they have a greater chance of achieving their objectives. These individuals do not require anyone to instruct them on what they should do or when they should do it. Because they enjoy being in charge of their own destinies, they choose to be their own bosses at work independently. People who prefer to keep to themselves tend to be more innovative and creative. This is due to the fact that they devote a significant amount of their time to contemplating topics that the majority of people do not give much thought to. Fifth, they frequently exhibit a high degree of sensitivity and empathy towards others. If you were to find that quiet people are more likely to be highly sensitive and compassionate than their louder counterparts, you might be taken aback by this information. This is due to the fact that they are more likely to have a powerful emotional reaction to the things they experience. They are more likely to cry when watching sad movies and to become quickly upset. However, this does not imply that they are more likely to act irrationally when angered or that they are more easily offended by the words of others. It's just that they have a better grasp on their own emotions than the others around them do. People who are more reserved typically have the ability to empathize with others, to comprehend their thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and to connect with others through the common ground of their experiences. Sixth, Despite the fact that they may give the impression that they are not necessarily bored. People who keep to themselves are hardly ever bored. They could be considering anything that could be quite interesting for them to ponder about at the moment, or it's possible that they are content with the hush and are concentrating on what's going on in the area. In addition to this, because they are active listeners, they are able to pay attention to a discussion or occurrence without feeling the need to instantly interject with their own thoughts or opinions. Additionally, persons who are more reserved benefit from gaining energy and focus from participating in solo activities. They have a vibrant inner life as well, so they don't require the same level of stimulation from the outside world that others do in order to feel whole. 7th, they have a heightened sense of self-awareness. People who are reserved and unassuming are at ease with themselves, so much so in fact that they have no trouble expressing themselves in a manner that is genuine. Because of this quality, they are honest not only with themselves but also with other people. Due to the fact that they have a strong grasp on how they feel about various issues, these individuals do not second-guess themselves. They have no trouble communicating to people when they feel the need for a change or when something in their lives has reached a point where it is no longer beneficial to them, and they have the guts to really implement those changes. In addition, those who are naturally reserved are drawn to opportunities that will allow them to develop both personally and professionally. And because of this quest for personal development, they are even more self-aware as individuals who value ongoing progress. The 8th reason is that they are more emotionally stable. People who are generally reserved tend to be emotionally stable. This indicates that they are more likely to have a good attitude on life and are better able to cope with stress. This is due to the fact that they are quite skilled at keeping their feelings under control. In addition to this, they tend to have a lower level of reactiveness than the ordinary individual. They are able to take in information without being overly influenced by it or leaping to conclusions based solely on what someone else says because of their ability to speak up when necessary and allow others to talk without interrupting or judging them. This ability allows them to speak up for themselves when necessary. As a result of this, these people are more suited to deal with challenging situations and can more easily resolve problems. The 9th reason is that they are more patient. People who keep to themselves seem to have more patience than those who are outgoing and talkative. When a scenario plays out, they are more likely to hold off on forming an opinion or choosing a course of action until it has fully played out before doing so. Their capacity to concentrate on the here and now and take care of one issue at a time is the source of their extraordinary patience. People who are more reserved are less likely to dive headfirst into novel situations, which enables them to be more attuned to the world around them in the here and now, rather than allowing themselves to become preoccupied with ideas of the past or the future. As a consequence of this, they have greater patience when it comes to dealing with issues as they come up, and they are less inclined to make fast judgments or conclusions based on an emotional response. Number 10. They are very perceptive and retentive. People who are more reserved have a greater capacity for paying attention to and recalling minute particulars. This is because they are aware of their surroundings, pay close attention to what is going on around them, and listen attentively. They have a good memory and can recall facts fast. They frequently remember what others say and do. People who are more reserved tend to be excellent problem solvers because they spend more time contemplating the implications of various scenarios before deciding what steps should be taken. Number 11. People that are more reserved tend to be more creative and have more fascinating hobbies. The common misconception about introverts is that they spend all of their time reading or doing other mind-numbing activities, but this is not the case. By the way, reading books is not a tedious activity. People who are reserved typically have a full inner life that serves as a source of inspiration for their work because of the enthusiasm they have for the creative process. If you take the time to get to know a reserved person better, you might find out that they have intriguing things to share. And finally, number 12. People who keep to themselves are rarely unhappy, are content in their own company, and open up about who they are at their own speed. They are not in any kind of misery, even if they do not want to engage in constant social interaction. You shouldn't be concerned that your reserved friend is lonely, because it's likely that they take pleasure in their own company. It is clear that quiet people have a great deal of nuance and complication, and rather than criticizing them, we would all do well to have an understanding of their experiences and perspectives. Keep in mind that there may be more to a person's personality than initially meets the eye the next time you find yourself in the company of somebody who is unassuming and silent. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so that we can continue to make more like it. Check the subscribe button to receive notifications of new videos like this one, and be sure to also click the notification bell button. Also, make sure you check out some of the other videos that we have on our channel. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.